Hey guys, welcome to another video. So in this video, I wanted to go over 3 things that I do when I go out and do an event for a low light situation and being able to be successful in getting the most images I can get that will be keepers actually, so that I can provide for the client. Either you've been there before or you've, I should say, been able to do a little research and see what the venue looks like, or even if you've not been there and don't know what the venue looks like. Over the years, shooting music events, low light situations, I tend to do these things. First off, I will bring a second camera. If you can bring an exact camera of the primary camera you plan to use, even better. Because the cool part is you get 2 things you can do that'll help you when shooting low light music events when it comes to having an additional camera body. One, you get redundancy, so you don't, if you bring the same body, that is, so you literally can have a lens on each body, giving you that versatility. The same as if you were at other events and shooting. Having 2 bodies on you while shooting an event gives you a lot more flexibility again, because you can put 2 different lenses on for 2 different focal lengths and be able to capture stuff as it's happening and switch quickly without having to take the lens off, put on the other lens, miss some shots or opportunities while you're doing that, and so forth. The other positive about having a second body is, in case you decide you do want to just shoot with one body, you have a second body as backup in case something happens. Again, if you can bring a body that's exactly the same as the primary camera you plan to use, even better. It's just a easy swap and go, right? So that will be the first thing I would definitely look at doing, is having a second body. Okay. The next thing would be, what lenses should you take? And when it comes to low light, you don't know exactly what the color of the walls are going to be for in the venue. You don't know exactly what the lighting situation is going to be for a venue. Hopefully you can do some research if you've never been there before and can see, hopefully, if somebody's posted some images or the venue's posted some images of what it looks like, you can prepare. But if you haven't, or if you don't have the time, here's the things that I would consider when it comes to choosing the right lenses. Focal length. You want to have a wide, a standard, and a telephoto. So what does that mean? Well, first things first, zooms aren't going to cut it. You can't get a zoom fast enough in some cases, and if you are getting a zoom fast enough, you ain't going to be able to bring a zoom in and take pictures with that beast, because it's going to be a monster. So you're generally going to be using primes, and a wide for Fuji system would be something like a 24 millimeter. So for me, that would be the 16 1.4. I actually have the 18 1.4, so I'll be bringing that. For a standard, you're talking about something in the world of primes. You're looking around that 35 millimeter focal length. Again, you're looking for something fast. So for me, shooting Fuji, that will be the 35 mil 1.4. It will also be the 50 1.0, since I own that. And I will be testing it out today, so I'll actually have that in place of the 50, which is the 56 1.2 WR, the new release. And then when it comes to the tele side, there's only one lens option that I can choose right now for the Fuji that's fast enough, and that would be the 90mm f2.0. So that will give me my equivalence of anywhere from a 24, from a 35 to like 85 range, and then a 135 when looking at full frame equivalent. So definitely want to bring a handful of primes, definitely want to bring some fast primes, cover a wide view, a standard view, let's say standard telephoto, standard zoom length, whatever, we'll say portrait, if you will, length, and then a telephoto. So third thing would be, if you've been to the venue or you have the opportunity to see what the venue is like, you want to make sure that you know what to pack. In this particular venue, I've been there once. I brought an assortment of lenses the first time because I hadn't been there before and didn't know what to expect. My number 2 tip. And this time, since I've been there, number 3 tip would be pack for the venue. as well as your comfort level. So what do I mean by that? Well, if I know in this venue that it's going to be a small space and it's going to be tight and there's going to be people in there, I'm going to pack light because I don't want to be bumping into folks with a bunch of gear. Because of that, I want to feel more comfortable knowing I have eyes on my gear if I don't have a safe location to put it. Sometimes you can't put your gear with the band stuff, because even their gear is somewhere else locked away. So you're on your own in some venues where you have to keep a mindful eye on your equipment as well as what's going on in the venue to make it easier for you to capture those images of the band playing, or just taking images of what's going on in the venue. So for this particular venue, I'm actually going to only bring 3 lenses. I'm going to bring the 18, I'm going to bring the 35, and then I'm going to bring the 56. I don't need the 90 because it's a lot tighter in this venue than 90 would afford. It'd just be too far away. I'd be at the almost back to the entrance of the bar shooting the 90. So I'll be bringing those 3 lenses. As far as bodies go, I'm going to bring the XH2S, not the XH2, because I don't want the 40 megapixels in this situation. And then as a backup, because I don't want the 40 megapixels, I'm going to bring my XS10, because all 3 cameras will give me image stabilization as well as IBIS and body stabilization, which is a benefit because sometimes you have to lower that shutter speed depending on the lighting and so forth. So those are 3 good tips that I tend to follow when I'm looking at shooting a venue, especially when it's going to be a low light situation and I don't know what to expect, or I do have an idea of what to expect, what I would do to make it easier for myself to capture those images and get some bangers. So let me know what you guys think in the comment, what you would do in the scenario, what would you bring, or what have you run in situations like this. And it'll be good to see what you guys do or have done. May even help me out, maybe change my mind up on some things as well. Because every venue, unless you've been there before, is definitely different. Have a good one. Happy holidays.